Hey. So, we just saw Greatest Showman.
We did.
Yeah. And?
Sweet Jesus. We enjoyed it.
We did enjoy it.
We enjoyed it.
I don't know what is. I mean, I know what's taking us so long. Shit keeps happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, the last film we saw was Star Wars, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Which was also a good film.
Yeah, it was good.
But it's so good. So worth. I mean, I would say it's so worth the wait. But God, if we'd seen it earlier, we could have seen it again.
Yeah, I know. Well, there'll be a DVD.
There will be.
There will be many DVDs.
It'll be on my pre-order list very soon.
Yeah, me too. So good.
Okay, I just want to. I know this is really tacky when people do this, but I don't think everyone's been watching my vlogs, and that's fine. I'm kind of doing them for me. But for those of you who actually tune in and watch the reviews, first of all, thank you. But I've been trying to. I'm turning 40 in a week, little over a week now.
It's just a number.
It is just a number, no. But I'm currently at 20 subscribers, and I thought it'd be kind of neat if I had 40 by the time I'm 40.
Like it.
So if you haven't been watching my vlogs, that's cool, but check them out. But that's fine if you haven't been. I'm kind of doing it as trying to do a thing every day of the year. But if you haven't, then you obviously haven't seen me saying, hey, I will. It'll be very cool if you watch my stuff. But right now, honestly, I just want the number. I just think we need. So if you just hit the subscribe button and don't worry about hitting the bell, then that's
cool.
fine.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for that. So So the spoiler-free review is yay.
Yes.
I was thinking about this because this is maybe this is just me, but this is less a film and more just a feeling, emotion, a journey.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it is based on a true story. I don't know how much of it's true because I've always heard Barnum as Barnum and Bailey.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure when this is obviously pre-Bailey, so I'm not sure how this all fits in. Unless he comes along later. So possibly a sequel.
I hope so. God, I hope so.
But I was thinking there's a quote, something like talking about love is like dancing about architecture or something like that. It's actual. I'm probably getting it wrong, but dancing about architecture is the
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And it's like it's a. Sometimes you just can't describe the thing because you're too busy going. That's a thing that's amazing, and I'm feeling it, and
yeah, sometimes feeling it is enough.
So it hits all the right. I mean, it absolutely hits all the right notes. Everyone in it is a fantastic singer. Oh, so the thing I was going to say. Erin posted this meme up, and it's like 3 different pictures of Hugh Jackman, obviously 2 as Wolverine and 1 as Barnum, and it goes, he slice, he dice, he sing real nice. Which I thought was actually really cute.
And they could also use that if he ever opens a restaurant.
Indeed.
Have that on the menu.
Dinner a show. Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Have it next door to Batman's restaurant. Dinner. Batman. Just thought of that. I know it's awful. And I don't care.
I tell you to get out, but it's your car.
I do apologise.
Oh, to be fair, you did try and throw me up my own flat once.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, spoilers for Zootropolis. The twist is based on a U-turn. It is still a terrible joke.
Oh god.
But this, yeah.
Yeah, this film. Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, Michelle Williams, Zac Efron.
Who was the lady that played?
Zendana.
The woman, the singer woman from Britain. Is that her?
Oh, what the
not the bearded lady.
The opera singer.
Yeah, her. Yeah, she was.
I don't know who she was.
She was very good.
Yeah, but Zendana was Zendaya.
Something like that.
Is obviously the trapeze girl.
Oh, of course, yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, fabulous.
I would say if you haven't seen it already, go. But it disappears on Thursday.
Yeah.
At least from here. So if you haven't seen it, get it when it comes out. Yeah. Because you will not regret spending the money.
Yeah. Get that pre-order.
We spent Okay, so basically, like I said, we had been trying for so long. things kept coming up, works and other things happening, and that's fine. Life happens. But I feel very dark in here. Hang on, let me just. But yeah, things kept happening, and so we couldn't go when we wanted to, pretty much every time. So because he felt guilty about having to keep cancelling, and despite the fact we've said before we have cards that we can go to the cinema for free, what did you do?
Paid money.
Because you felt bad about cancelling all the time. I did.
But, you know, I did say before we went in, I said, I'm sure it would be a good film Jesus.
Okay, that's...
I'm sure it would be a good film to...
I don't... Okay, that is... How's that?
Good gravy.
It's making an interesting effect, but do we like that? Is that...
It's bright.
Is that better than that? It's spookier.
Is it?
Okay, remember that for our next horror
review. When we do horror films, yeah.
The only other way is kind of doing it there, but then that's right in our faces.
Yeah, that's a bit, yeah.
Okay.
Direct.
So, we've...
Good idea.
We've tried to...
I see what you mean though, it does look a bit dark. Maybe having the light above us, maybe would have worked. But it didn't work before, did it, really?
There's no other real way of doing it without us being backlit. Yeah. Oh, this is quite funky. Where are we going to go now? Alright, I'll stop playing with the torch. I don't think there really is any more we can say about it before getting specific.
No, I don't think so. Just fabulous. I felt like I was actually in the theatre.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I will say, and this is more probably about... because we were sat right at the back. Oh yeah, like, for a film that's going out next week, like tomorrow, still busy. It was one of the smaller theatres, but it's still very busy.
Yeah.
And everyone seemed to have a great time. So, I said not necessarily criticism. It's definitely not a criticism on the film. Probably more of the fact that we were sitting right at the back. When the music picked up loud, the voices got quiet.
Yeah.
That could be a sound mix issue with where we were sitting.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Acoustically.
Yeah. So more central, or because I already own the soundtrack and I've already got a few of the songs, and obviously that sound mix problem doesn't really happen on that. So not really. That's not a criticism of anything other than where we were sat. Yeah. But it's a non-spoiler thing to mention. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have to do the thing.
Do the thing.
Spoilers!
Be afraid.
I like doing the thing. We don't going with the words. When we did the Star Wars thing and we didn't talk about try and break down every single scene and just talked about highlights, I think that worked better for us. I think so, quick overview for those of you who aren't aware of everything. The basic story structure is we have this amazing opening song, very staccato. Welcome to the show. Like I said before, I love that kind of staccato strong drum beat kind of music. Really gets you going. And then it sort of spins around and you see Phineas as a young boy. So we get like 5 to 10 minutes of Phineas as a boy, and when he meets his soon-to-be wife, well, future wife, Charity. So he's just a poor boy. Nobody loves him.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family.
And he ends up doing the thing, yeah. So, but he is. No, his
It will be copyrighted if we do any more lyrics. So we'll end it there.
Yeah. So, but he is the tailor's boy or a tailor's assistant, and his master dies, so he's basically on the streets. You see him really struggling. He steals some bread and gets he gets beat down, taken back. An old lady who is very scarred, a lot going on with her face. The scene, I know it was you, but it was very evocative of the old lady witch scene in Sleeping Beauty.
I thought that, giving the apple, the black cloak, yeah.
But she wasn't evil, and she wasn't trying to kill young Phineas, but
what they were going for. But yeah, I got that feeling.
So and then it kind of, you see this guy in the street saying, come, work on the rails, 3 square meals and a roof over your head, a career, all this stuff. And then it basically, you see young Finn going sort of towards this person, this recruiter, and then smash cut, and it's like Hugh Jackman walking to Charity's parents' house asking for her hand, and her dad's like, show me back. And then that's basically it. So we get a few minutes with Phineas as a boy, and then pretty much onto the circus, more or less.
Yes.
So yeah, so he basically he's clerking somewhere. He said, "Hey, look, I've got an idea." You see him kind of being an inventor, which is really cool. He puts this together this present for his because there's a whole sequence when they a really beautiful song and dance sequence where they're basically setting up their life. So there's a few years after they get married, and their children will be what, 10, 11?
Yeah.
So a good decade of life building in this one little apartment in some dead end part of New York. So a long journey for him to get from even becoming an adult to getting to this point of bringing the circus together. The thing, and originally it's the Barnum Museum of Oddities and stuff, and then his daughters are like, and a live act. There's too many dead things.
And nothing stuffed.
Nothing stuff. Be spectacular and stuff like that. So yeah, and they say they start picking up adverts and.
Yeah. Cough together. Yeah. So yeah, they start handing out. Is that the right bit where they start handing out flyers? Yeah.
Because originally they're trying to just promote the museum, like so it's like a waxwork museum with like stuffed animal stuff, and then they're trying to get talent.
Yes.
And like oddities and strange people, and that's quite a good sequence where they kind of go in staccato with the nailing up the thing. It doesn't lead into a song.
That was good. That was very, very good.
I love that stuff. I love that.
I know. They did it so well, didn't they?
So that's basically how they end up meeting people. They meet the bearded lady. They go into this like laundry place, and she's singing, and like they're kind of like, so you shouldn't be here, and like, you know, because it's those places. But I think back then were quite dangerous as well. They used to use pure lavender and stuff like that, and so it's not a good place to take young children. You know, at least not without kind of any kind of thing. And then so you meet the bearded lady behind a sheet, and she's just singing, and she's got a beautiful voice. And so he's like charms her, and yeah, there's so they're building up a thing. Obviously, there's protest. There's the critic who doesn't like them, so he says, print this. Make sure this gets printed everywhere, and everyone who brings in a copy gets half price tickets, and really, you know, playing it up.
Yeah, that's clever.
So eventually we meet Zac Efron, looking very handsome.
He does look very handsome, doesn't he?
And I'm not sure, is his voice actually deepening, or is he just affecting that?
No, his voice sounded weird.
Yeah.
Just
because I don't know if it's implied he's supposed to be, you know, of British descent more directly, but his parents weren't British.
No, they weren't, were they? No, maybe that's just the way his voice is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because he had connections in Europe, like with the Queen and that. So I thought maybe is he supposed to be from there?
Yeah,
but
maybe.
He wasn't putting on an accent. It was just his voice was deeper than I'm used to hearing it.
Yeah.
I think I haven't really seen him in anything since High School Musical.
No, that's it.
Well, and Hairspray.
Yeah.
To be fair, that was
not like a decade ago. Anyway.
It's not necessarily against him. It's just none of the other films he's done since then really appeal to me.
No, I don't think I've seen anything. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
But that's not against him. It's just his
not
choices, and that's fine. You make your choices. Yeah. But we have to talk about that bar scene.
Oh God, that was so good. Oh, that's so good. I didn't really see what direction it was going to go in initially, and then
this is for those of you who know the music. This is The Other Side.
Just yes.
It is it's the two of them. It's kind of in a weird way. It's kind of a seduction song. He's trying to convince Philip, you know, Zach's character, to join and invest because he Efron's a playwright and sort of thing, so he's got the success. He's from the Hoi Polloi. He's got the name, isn't he, to put up with it. And he's basically Jackman's trying to convince him that, look, you know, you can have success or you can have passion, essentially. So this is a precision timed sequence. So you got the two of them and the barman.
Oh, the barman was good.
and it's, if you've ever want a good example of those, I don't know what, if it's got a particular name, but that kind of just everything spot on, nothing goes wrong. I mean, I'd love to see the outtakes.
Oh, I bet a lot went wrong.
But that precision time, precision routine, precision, everything on the mark, exactly precise. And this is a scene that takes place over the entire bar. They are climbing on tables, on chairs. There's bottles and glasses being slid up and down. Yeah. And the song is amazing as well.
Yeah, the song was brilliant.
So, I always assume with any production, well, any filmed production, they're not necessarily singing live entirely. No. That there's always going to be a looped soundtrack. Yeah. However, the actor's voice, the actor's lips are still moving.
Yeah.
So you have to think, even if they're not singing it full pelt, they've got to be at least singing something. They've got to be.
Yeah.
So they've got precision movements, and there was a lot of cuts, but there was also a lot of long tracks. There was a lot of overhead.
Yeah.
There was a lot of scenes where there isn't a cut, and they're still doing
around them. Yeah.
And there's still, things moving and doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I wouldn't necessarily condone this unless it's an official release, but it wouldn't surprise me if certain songs, certain routines are already on YouTube.
Yeah, probably. People have their favourites, don't they?
That's definitely one I'm going to go back to. That's one I would probably watch in isolation just to appreciate everything that's gone into it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Just to, because like I said, even if they're not singing full whack, they are putting in some kind of something for the soundtrack, something to loop to, whilst having all the quicks back and forth, whilst jumping up and down on tables and chairs.
Yeah, there'll be outtakes. But yeah, I see what you mean though. There's a lot to appreciate in just that scene, isn't there? Yeah. In terms of the characters and the actors, obviously.
Yeah. So there is a lot. So obviously we've alluded to the opera singer. Now, I'm obviously going to jump ahead a bit here. So Barnum takes her on tour and it's just him and her, and obviously the orchestra, and they leave the circus people to do their thing in New York. And there's a whole sequence prior to that we'll get to. But there's this whole thing where, there is a bit of prison. They're both good-looking people. But are we supposed to feel sorry for her for falling in love with a married man?
Well,
because she tries to this whole thing where they're like sitting and talking and celebrating, and she's pouring in champagne and she's trying to get really close, and he's like, no, I'm like, okay, 2 hours to show time and you need, so he's trying to basically, because all through it I was like, oh, please don't do that, please don't have enough. And he, I don't, like I said, I don't know enough about Barnum and his actual history to know how much. I mean, obviously this is probably a slightly glorified version of his story, but to do what he did and to bring those people together and to be a person we're still hearing about today who has a movie made about him, dude had to have a certain amount of charm.
Oh god, yeah.
I don't know if he was good looking as Hugh Jackman, but
but still,
yeah, to have some charm.
Yeah.
So you can sort of see why people would fall for him.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so she's kind of like doing her final performance and she's all tearful and everything. It's like, bet you knew he was married.
Yeah, I know. What have you really lost? You never had him.
And then, she still got paid, so basically she quits the tour, which ruins him. And there's something else. So going back a little, there's a pre-protest, people not liking the freaks. There's, because you've obviously got the bearded lady. Chang and Ang, the Siamese twins, are part of this act as well. I wasn't sure if it was them, but they are. They are not, they are not being played by twins.
Oh, okay.
So they were a good find. And obviously I'll be interested to see their process, because obviously everything they do is conjoined. So that was interesting. But yeah, there's a thing where he's presenting the opera singer for the first time and it's a great success, and all the hoi polloi and suited booted, they're all at their thing, and the other circus people are like, can we come and say hello, we've got time for a couple of... And he kind of sort of shuts the door on them, which is where you get the Academy nominated song "This Is Me." It's actually been nominated.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Which is amazing. It's like this is the anthem song. This is the one if you've heard any songs from the movie, this is the one you've heard.
This is the one you've heard. Yeah, this is
In fact, this is the one that's in the trailer.
Yeah, this is the definitive song, isn't it? I think. It sums up the tone of the film.
Because it's not. It is. I would say like a girl power song.
People power.
Yeah, but it's like forget anything that has girl power in the title. Forget Raw. Forget Firework. Whatever whatever songs about. Forget Adele. Sorry, I don't know why I'm picking Adele. I just don't like Adele. I think she's a bit overrated. That's just me. Yeah, this is a proper Hear Me Roar anthem. It's amazing. It's passionate. It kind of gets you. I mean, if I hadn't already heard it several times, it would really have gotten me.
It gave me chills.
Oh god, the whole movie gave me chills. That opening sequence gave me chills. Like,
but I mean, that song, particularly at the the bit where they're all having the ball or whatever it was, and Barnum sort of shut them all out of the room.
Yeah.
Sort of the This Is Me.
Yeah.
Started up, and they're just like finding their strength.
Yeah.
And finding where they belong. It's just fabulous.
It is so good.
Fabulous.
So good luck to that one. I don't know what it's up against, but apparently it's up against the Weird Al, like one of the other. Oh, actually no, that was the primary, so I don't know what actually made the final list. Look at the final list. So there's that. Then the other. So basically, what happens is there's a lot of protesters. There's a lot of people who were just like dicks, basically. They get out of what this is at town. Get out. They're all from the town. They're all from New York.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what that's about. I'll go home. They are home.
Yeah. Fuckers. Excuse my French. I know I try and keep the language appropriate to the movie, but I was sorry. Slight sidetrack. I was reading something on Twitter, and I was like, that feeling when you're reading something and you think I need a stronger word than C.
Ouch.
Yeah. So yes, if anyone's got one, and no, Trump doesn't count because that just means fart in England.
Yeah, that's smack. Okay, best original song.
Yep.
This Is Me from The Greatest Showman.
Yep.
Stand Up for Something from Marshall.
Don't know.
Marshall. Remember Me from Coco.
Oh, I haven't seen Coco yet. That's out. Is it now or soon?
I think it's out now.
Yeah.
Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name. That looks good. Call Me By Your Name. I've not seen that though.
Okay.
Mighty River from Mudbound. Mary J. Blige.
Okay. So the only ones that I can think of that are like big ticket films are this and Coco.
Pretty much.
I haven't really heard of the other ones. I'm not saying they're not good. Maybe they haven't hit us yet.
Yeah, probably.
But they're the ones I've heard of.
Yeah.
And Disney songs always, is always going to be in the list. So okay. Two films I've heard of, and obviously the other songs, none of the songs I've heard. So I'm assuming it's fair competition, but I want this one to win.
Yeah, I want this one to win. Yeah.
And also Get Out had loads of nominations, which we didn't review that, but that was a good film as well. Awesome. But yeah, so the other big set. I mean, most of the numbers are big set pieces. Oh, so yeah, these guys have been complete thing. There's a point when Jackman and the opera singer are still. Jenny Lind, who I think probably was a real person. They're on tour, so Efron's in charge of the circus at the moment. And it's actually the night Barnum comes back, and he's like, you freaks, you spooks, because obviously they've got people of colour in the circus as well. And he's like, Efron's like, you can go now. He's being very, very cool, very polite, and we're in your face, blah, 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 what are you going to do about it? I'm only going to say it one more time. And say, oh yeah, or what? And then the big black dude just punches him out. And then the big brawl start. I was kind of hoping for more of that brawl because that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But one thing it is kind of cool I noticed that you did see some of them busting out their circus skills, like the dancers and the acrobats do kind of worm their way around their bodies, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
And then, but it gets cut short when someone grabs a kerosene lamp and throws it in the... So, and then obviously you got the scene where Barnum's coming off the train, his family are meeting him. She's like, why did you come home? And there's a point where Jane Lynn kisses him on stage to sort of, oh, that was goodbye. So obviously that's trying to cause some controversy. And
that's all over the papers.
But that they don't know that at that point. But yeah, so they like see the pump truck go past.
Bio,
which is fair enough. And then like the circus. He's like, what? And obviously they run to it, and he's like, "Is there
a huge just to intercede for 2 seconds?" Hugh Jackman doing his best Tom Cruise run. that was so good. It was so good, just proper.
Hang on, was that then, or was that later on when he's running back to his wife?
Oh no, it might have been later on.
Yeah, that's later on. Yeah. But no.
But yeah, he did that, and that was awesome.
That was good. But so they're running to the thing. Is everyone out?
Yeah.
They work about the animals. They say we had to let them go. What else can we do? And everyone out. And then they think Anne Zenzana's. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that name, and I apologise because she's a beautiful, talented young lady, and she's going to go places. She was in Spider-Man: Homecoming as well.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yes, of course she was. Yes, she was.
And I apologise for getting her name wrong every time. But her character Anne, they think she's in the building. So everyone's character who's fallen in love with her runs into the building.
Yes.
And then she comes around from the side. I'm here. And like, oh crap, now we've got to get Philip. And okay, I am sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I always think of the actor before the character. And that's not to say I won't lose myself into the character, but I like to keep the characters separate. But when Hugh Jackman runs into a burning building that then falls on top of him, part of my brain's like, he'll be fine.
Yes, it's Hugh Jackman.
he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Logan yet, but he'll be fine.
He'll be absolutely fine.
It's fine. Oh, and there was, on that, when one of the other guys was being a complete douche nozzle, there was another point where I was just, in my head, I heard schnick. It's like, to be fair, no, Barnum did not react. There was no actual fight. Barnum doesn't throw any punches in this movie. But there was one point when I just heard schnick.
Yes.
And I apologise because, like I said, individual projects.
Yeah.
But they didn't take me out of the movie. That was just my brain being silly.
Yes.
But prior to that, before the circus, which by the way he got the name circus from his critic, which is great. So it's got a nice ring to it, and it just said Barnum Circus.
Yeah, Barnum Circus, that's cute.
But the trapeze set piece, the love ballad.
Oh. Yeah, what was that song called?
I think I changed the stars or something. I can't remember the exact.
Rewrite the Stars.
Rewrite the Stars.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
So it's the love ballad. So obviously you've got the swell. The part of the swells. Zac Efron is from a rich family, and Anne is a person of colour. Now, I don't know the history of this. Her brother is black. She is more mixed race. Now I don't know how would it work historically. I know you can have two very black parents would produce lighter coloured kids, and you can get throwbacks where white parents can produce coloured children. That happens. But one would think siblings would be of a similar colour, and it's kind of the idea that this white boy from a very well-to-do background would be scandalous for him to be seen with a person of colour. And like I said, she's a beautiful, talented actress, but I wonder if some of the messages might being diluted by her not being as black as her brother.
That's a fair point.
And I apologise if that comes across as somewhat racist. I don't mean it to be racist. I'm just saying it as a general thing. Is it diluting the message? you know, having, because I don't know if she herself is of mixed race, but she's definitely more olive than the guy that got playing her brother. So
that's a fair observation.
So, you know, that's that being said, do you want to talk about the trapezing? Because you were supposed to do it at the bar and then you got to.
Yeah, so she storms off after his parents look down on her, and he sort of goes and tries to rekindle things. And they.
You want me, I know you want you.
Yeah.
There's a slight, I guess, kind of like times thing. And he's not actually, he does respect her boundaries, but there is kind of like, I know you want me, so why not, you know, why don't I just have you, kind of weird vibe to it, but not really. Because like, well, you want me, so let's do it. And she's like, well, no, he does, you know, he doesn't do anything without her say so, but there was kind of that vibe of like, hey, you know, let's just do the thing. Yeah. But, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, no, and then they, she starts sort of trapezing.
Yeah, on the rope, because...
On the rope,
yeah.
That was good. Very, very skilled. And he sort of joins in with her, and she's not sure at first, is she? And then they sort of come together, and it's just
he obviously, she's the skilled. I mean, he's not unfit.
No, but he's not the gymnast that she is.
And so he's kind of like jumping up and down around her. There's one point where she's on the ring, and he's holding onto it. And at one point he's not unfit, but he doesn't have the strength to keep holding himself, so he has to drop, and that's a big drop.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And then they kind of builds up the confidence, and there's this whole, they're dancing in the sky basically.
Yeah.
And he's like jumping up and down, like, because they're the only ones in the room at the time, so he's got the entire set to run around and play in.
Yeah, just in the whole round, that was beautiful.
And so there's one point where he does get his own rope and it's sort of twisting up and everything. But saying about the weird vibe, he does, when she says we can't, he does let go. He doesn't. Yeah. So he does respect her boundaries.
Yeah.
But it's just.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I like that scene. I'll look that one up as well.
Yeah. But it's just the stuff that happens. Like I said, I don't know how much of it is based on truth. The scandal about the opera singer kissing him kind of comes out, and then because he invested everything into doing it, the house gets foreclosed on. That he bought down the road from her parents, and so that's when the wrong couple, because they all find him in the bar, like the midget couple. It's really cool. I don't know his name. The little general sort of climbs up on the bar, walks straight in front of him, and said, "Yep, thought I'd find you here talking."
Yeah, and then all the rest of them come in behind him.
And that's a lovely scene as well, lovely song sequence. And they said, "We don't kiss you, like, if you're here for your money, there isn't any." And he goes, "We're not here for that. You everyone looked down on us, and now you're rejecting us as well. But you know, circus was our home, and we want our home back." And then goes into the song sequence, and that's when he realizes, oh no, because they sort of see them sort of going through the rubble, and he's like, you know, this is, you know, I'm not sure what I can do. There's a wonderful scene with the critic who's been kind of butting heads with. That's quite a sweet relationship as well, him and the critic. And that's when he says about the controversy, and I'm probably mixing scenes up now, but at one point, Zac Efron's like, "Hey, I've got money. I've lost my inheritance, but I saved the money you gave me. I will invest in us."
Yeah, that's it.
So they become partners that way. I don't know if this is what I mean. I don't know the history. I don't know where Bailey comes in. I don't know who Bailey is. I was kind of half expecting him to say, "Oh well, my family have disowned me. I might as well change my name," and him to suddenly have been Bailey. So that's something I need to look into. Which is something Brad Jones said. I can't remember what film it was, but I've told you this before. A good biography, a good biopic makes you want to go do more research.
Yes.
And this makes me want to go do more research.
100%. Yeah.
So I'm curious about that, but yeah, so that's when the Tom Cruise run comes in.
Oh yes.
He's like, he passes the top hat on to Efron and says, "This is for you. This is your time."
What are you gonna do?
Watch my children grow up.
Watch my little girls grow up.
Because there's like a subplot where is it Caroline? Is the ballet dancer?
I can't remember.
One of his daughters, Caroline and Helen. No, it is Caroline because she worked the ballet shoes, so they send her to ballet school, and the other girls in the group are really snobby with her. It's like, oh, what's that smell? What's the smell? Oh, it's peanuts. And she, inspired by the opera singer, she decides to carry on in the thing. So there's like a scene where she's like at the end and she's done. So I'm assuming that young actress is actually from a ballet school.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Both of the kids were really sweet actually. They weren't too cloyy. Some kid actors can be a bit, but they were very natural. So good for them. And if you want to carry on your careers and keep a level head, or if you want to make this your only film and then wait till you're an adult again,
fair enough.
You know.
Yeah, right.
But you were very good. If you're for some reason you're watching this, kudos to you guys.
Well done.
But yeah, it's really sweet at the end. Her sister, who didn't really show interest in doing the ballet or anything, in the end she's a tree in the play.
Yeah, that was really cute. There's always one kid who plays an animal.
That was very cute. So you do have Barnum and Charity together at the end. Actually, that was the thing when Jay Lynn says about, I give all my money to charity. So well, yeah, you could give it to charity.
Yeah.
So they do have a spat. Not because he said, look, it's not about that nothing happened, and you don't see the full argument about whether or not she does think he had an affair. But the reason she actually walks out is because the bank foreclosed on the house because of the loan. And she's like, you could have asked me, we did everything together. And that's why. And they go back to the beach where they were as children. Actually, the children, the young Barnum and Charity's child actors were very good as well.
Yeah, they were very good.
And good singers for children. It's not always easy for children to be singers. Without sort of the voices going. Yeah, I mean this. And
then, of course, and then at the end with after the fire, and they're sort of discussing. Well, Zac Efron's character discussing the having the money and putting the money into the new circus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's where they go.
They discuss. Well, how am I going to buy a building? Well, we don't need to. We can go down to the docks, get a really cheap plot of land. We just need a really massive tent. And then that cuts to the final sort of
about Barnum in a tent. Oh, and the when he goes to no, because Tom Cruise running was when he was chasing after Charity and going to see his daughter's play.
Oh, of course, yes. Yes, and they're there, and sort of his wife's leaning on his shoulder.
No, but before that, and I was almost going to lean over to you, but it was kind of in the music in the moment. I was like, I was going to lean over. He said, "Don't worry, part the elephant."
Oh God, yeah.
There is a couple of moments that I will say you could kind of see a bit of CGI when the little generals kind of go around the horse. That looked a bit
near the end. Yeah, I thought, yeah.
And the bit where the tigers jump through the hoops, maybe a bit, but
well, yeah.
If it means animals, if CGI means animals stay safe, I'm fine with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because obviously there are animals in the circus, and say what you want about animals in the circus. Today, it was the thing then.
Yeah, I know. That was what, hundreds of years ago, wasn't it?
I know it was hundreds of years ago. Well, not about a century or so.
Yeah, back then.
Back way back.
Animal rights laws weren't the same.
No, and that's not to say that those animals didn't look mistreated. Like, because they said, well, we let the animals go, but then as the scene, watching the building burn down, the elephants are there, so the elephants sort of came. Maybe there's not enough room for the elephants to run. The only thing I will say is when they went up to the in-laws' house or wherever they went to into the new house. I don't know if this actually happened or it was a thing for the movies, but the carriage is pulled by zebras. Zebras are not horses. Zebras are not horses.
No.
They can't be domesticated.
No,
so to put them in the carriage, that was the only bit I was like, that wouldn't have happened. That can't have happened. If it did, then I hope those zebras, had a good life. But yeah, that was the only thing that kind of like, not really. It's a cute joke, but zebras aren't tameable. They're not horse. They're not the same as horses. They're ungulates, but they're not horses. I think. Yeah. I mean, is there anything else you think? Because it's just so cool.
Yeah.
It's so great.
I think we've pretty much covered all the points, really.
The music is amazing.
Just incredible. But yeah, going back to what you said initially, it's not really like a film.
Yeah.
It's a feeling, and it really is like that, isn't it? It's it sort of jumps around a little bit, but you never really lose track of what's happening.
It's linear, but
Yeah.
it kind of there is time jumps.
Yeah, but it's just interesting, and just the chills and just everything. Just so good, so good.
So the chills.
Yes, I'm very impressed.
We've got a couple of minutes. You want to talk about trailers?
Oh yeah, yes.
The one we walked into was called Love, Simon.
Oh yes, I have seen another trailer for that, and it looks really, really, really cute. It looks really good, funny.
So is it more than one kid that it's following?
I think so. I think from what I gauged from the trailer that I saw, it's basically this kid in high school who discovers that he's gay, and some other unknown male figure also within his school starts, like, I don't know, texting him or Facebooking him or something, basically saying, "Oh, I'm gay too," and then he's sort of trying to figure out who that is, as well as coming to terms with who he is as well.
All right, cool.
That's the impression I get from him, and that seems quite interesting.
No, because I was thinking about that kid at the end saying, "Oh, I love, your sister's I love women. I love black women," and like, "No, I love all women." Being like, so are you just another character who just happens to be straight in this film about? I don't know, but that looks cute.
It does look good.
There's one that looks, I don't know if it's one of those ones that could go either way. The update thing.
Status update. Yeah, that looks very High School Musical-y, doesn't it?
I don't know if it's going to be, because it says like it's the same people who did other jukebox musicals. I will say this: if musicals are coming back, we didn't see La La Land, but if musicals are coming back, bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it on. If they're going to be like this, I mean, I haven't seen. We haven't seen La La Land, but that had good. That had very good.
Did it win the Oscar last year?
I don't know, but it's same songwriter. The obviously downsizing that still looks interesting.
It does look good, doesn't it?
There's another one that still like something get brighter.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Odd.
How weird.
Not complaining.
Did you just press something? Huh.
Right.
Okay. That's much better. We can see us now.
Yes.
Why wasn't it like that earlier?
I don't know.
Anyway, but there was the film that I'm calling Awesome Old People Being Awesome, which is
the old film.
Yeah.
The old people's film.
On the right foot or something like that. Starting out.
What was it? That something.
It's every awesome British actor.
Yeah.
Timothy Spall, Joanna Lumley, Imelda Staunton.
Celia Marie.
Yeah, just
being themselves.
I think it's a slice
amazing.
of. It looks like a slice of life movie.
Yeah.
You know, these people. I don't know if they were lifelong friends, or they, a couple of them find each other at some point, or.
Yeah.
But that looks like a really cute.
Yeah. What else was there? Was that it? Was there anything else?
Downsizing, because there was another tweeny one that I wasn't sure about. Was that the status update? Because there was obviously downsizing. We'd already seen the trailers for. We walked in on just Simon. Was there another kiddie tweeny movie, or was that?
I think that was it.
Yeah. But so the
There's only a few, wasn't there?
But yeah, they're just starting out or something like that. The awesome old people movie.
Yeah, Finding Your Feet.
Finding Your Feet.
Finding Your
I knew stepping was in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's something to do with feet.
Yeah, that looks adorable.
It does. It looks really cute. It's very much like what was that one where they all go to India? There was two of them. You know what I mean? Another sort of British old person film. Dame Dench was in it.
Yeah. Do you mean the Marigold Hotel?
That's it.
I haven't seen that.
The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. No, I haven't seen it, but it's just got that sort of similar sort of feel.
Maybe, I don't know. It's a bit, yeah, it looks. But awesome old people being awesome.
Yeah.
The movie.
The movie. Working title.
But I think that's.
I think we're running out of time now.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching, because like I said, it's already. I mean, if we'd seen it earlier, we'd have been seeing it again.
Yeah.
Easily.
But we're getting that pre-order on.
We are.
Oh yes.
And I'm going to lend him a copy of the soundtrack.
Yes.
Because it's amazeballs.
Yes.
I will say that I like having soundtrack with all the songs. I miss having score albums.
Oh.
I think Disney are the only ones that still do the score, like the actual incidental music.
Oh, yeah.
You know. So I miss just bring out more scores. Because like the Avengers, up to the Avengers, they all had score soundtracks. And the Avengers doesn't. That's the Avengers is the one I want.
Yeah.
That's the Silvestri one. I'm like, oh, love me some Silvestri. But yeah, great movie. If you haven't seen it already, then yeah, just find it, you know, and buy it and support it and love it and hug it and squeeze it and call it George, because it's amazing. And if they do make a sequel where, you know, we learn about Barnum and Bailey, and they're, you know, I'll be there. Yeah, especially with the same cast and everyone. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Leave comments. Tell me what you thought of the film. Comments. Yeah, and basically I've been Michelle, he's been Adam, and this has been us talking about a movie. Bye.